You know, if you've got a garden with plenty of space, pumpkins are a fun thing to grow. Or really, if you have kids in the family, you don't really need a big space because they'll want a pumpkin. No one can get more joy than a child growing his own jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. Well, today I don't have a lot of space left in my garden, in my ground bed, but I am going to plant some pumpkins. You know, many people plant their pumpkins early in the season, about the time they plant squash, which is okay. They can grow then, but they might also mature in August or early in the season when you have to care for them after they've been harvested in the heat of the day. So I like to grow my pumpkins so they will get ripe about the last of September or the 1st of October as the days are getting cooler and we're moving into the Halloween season. Most pumpkin varieties take about 100 to 120 days to mature. And so sometime between the middle of June and the end of June is an ideal time to plant pumpkins in the garden. We need to keep in mind that pumpkins are have a very, very extensive root system. And so we want to be sure that the ground is very fertile and the soil is loose and friable so those roots can spread. I have tilled up this area, raked it down smooth, and I have already incorporated a good liberal application of a complete fertilizer. Actually, I use 13-13-13 in my garden. You might also use something like manure or compost or a good organic matter by incorporating 3 to 4 inches into the soil. But even though I have already fertilized, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of additional fertilizer just right around the area where I'm going to grow my pumpkin seedlings and mix that in well. I'm planting my pumpkins in what's called a hill. That doesn't necessarily mean a mound in the soil. A hill is certainly, it's just an horticultural term for pumpkin or for seeds that are put in a circle or in a small area of about 4 to 5 seeds per area throughout in the garden area. So today I'm planting, the first variety of pumpkin I'm planting is the Casper. That's a white pumpkin, a very popular pumpkin. I'm going to put about 5 or 6 seed sort of in a circle here, 1 inch to 1.5 inches deep. And then it'll take 5 to 7 days for these seed to mature, or to germinate and to come up. And then I will thin those to the 2 most vigorous seedlings that I've got and allow about 2 seedlings per hill to go ahead and mature. I'm putting my label on there, Casper, and today's date. And now, because it is going to be getting warm and the soil is going to begin to dry out, I'm just going to lightly cover those with some straw just to keep it moist and keep the soil a little bit cooler. Then I'm planting my next variety, giving about 6 to 7 feet between hills. And the next variety that I'm going to plant is the variety called Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern is actually your standard pie-sized pumpkin, or a pumpkin that can be used very well for either pies or for jack-o'-lanterns, of course, or just for decoration. It's a very uniform pumpkin, a mid-sized pumpkin. It's uniform, very bright orange, and usually a very typical pumpkin shape. So I'll do the same thing that I did with my Casper. Get my fertilizer incorporated good. Fix a little area. Put my label down. And plant seed again about 1 inch to 1.5 inches deep. And then once again, I'll cover those over with a little bit of straw. Then my last pumpkin that I'm going to plant is one that I've grown before, and actually I really enjoy growing this pumpkin just for the fun of it, and that is the Big Macs. The Big Max is the pumpkin that you usually see entered in the pumpkin contest. It can weigh up to 100 or more pounds at maturity if it's given good care and the right kind of growing conditions. So I'm going to grow the Big Max. I'm putting it down at the end of my garden because it is a very aggressive pumpkin. All pumpkins are aggressive, with vines maybe reaching 15 to 20 feet. So, but I want an extra amount of room for this Big Max. So it's into my garden. It's sort of a rough area. My compost is here. There's just general open area down here, so it'll have plenty of room to grow. But the Big Max is one that I really enjoy growing. It's just a fun pumpkin to grow. But you grow it just like any of the others. I put down my fertilizer, mix it in good. Make me a little circle where I can plant my seed. Now the Casper and the jack-o'-lantern that I planted take about 100 days to maturity. The Big Max takes about 120. But we may see, depending on the weather conditions, that is speeded up a little bit or slowed down a little bit. But that doesn't really matter, because if these get ripe somewhere around late September, early October, I'm in good shape for both Halloween and for fall decoration. So, you know, pumpkins are another one of those fun things to grow in your garden. If you've got any space at all for a pumpkin plant, I'm going to recommend that you plant one this year just for the fun of it.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.